was the one I was going to do. Yeah.
Brown 45! Brown 45! Hot, 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 hot!
You are listening to Any Given Sunday, Australia.
Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast, the number one podcast in at least 3 households, 2 studios now. We have our second studio. ABC head office, NFL Australia, American Football Australia head office. Joining, I've got the 2 boys sitting in front of me. We can touch, we're nice and close, but joining us all the way from Sydney, down for the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, an avid Jets fan, Mr. Dan Muggleton. How are you, mate?
It's good to be here, representing the storied franchise of the New York Jets. It's an honour. I feel like when I mentioned I like the Jets, everyone in this podcast got excited, which makes me think I'm walking into a hornet's nest, and I'm concerned.
Well, I think it's the most enjoyable level of Schadenfreude there is, I think, in the NFL. No matter how badly your team is going, you can always look at the Jets and go, do you know what? It ain't so bad.
Yeah.
It's going to be all right.
It's funny because I got into it, like, I had to pick a team. I haven't been good at picking a team. I don't know about you guys, but like other sports you follow, like NBA, like I couldn't give a shit, to be honest, about any of them. I watched it, but like, and then like AFL and Swans, like lock it in, like that matters. And then everything else, I just haven't picked one. So NFL, I'm like, I have to pick one, and I picked the Jets. Yeah.
Well, let's step through the story. We've got like a questionnaire to get to the bottom of your experience as an NFL fan in what I call the diaspora, living outside the world of NFL in America.
The diaspora.
I
think you're one of the few NFL fans to use the word diaspora.
I think that's highly possible. That is possible.
I know what that means.
Okay, so the term comes, the diaspora, the term comes, it's people who live away from their homeland.
Correct.
So like Jewish people who don't live in Israel live in the diaspora, for example. So, and if you want to get into that, I wouldn't. Now,
that's a whole different podcast.
Not in this building.
So this is the football diaspora living outside America and that experience. So let's go through the questionnaire from the top. T-Mac, you kick it off.
Well, you've already kind of started it. How did you first get in the NFL?
Well, like in terms of like actual fandom, it was when I was living in the UK, which I know makes no sense.
In the diaspora.
As part of a new diaspora. Yeah. I was a double diaspora over there. But yeah, in the UK, and it makes no sense because like the hours for football in the UK are like even more horrific than here. It's kind of like 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. Like that's your kind of watching time. But like I was living over there and like I thought I'd get into the EPL, but I didn't because the games are during the day and like I was usually on a horrific bus up and down the country trying to do some gig. So the NFL was just kind of there at the right time when I got home and I could unwind. And like, yeah, I just kind of came back an NFL fan.
Did you find like while you were over there, did you catch any games?
No, not at all. And I didn't even know that other people watched it. I feel like the UK is particularly ashamed of its NFL fan base.
There is like, I know that there is like there's a Bills bar in London.
There's a Bills bar.
So I will one day go to this bar and watch a game there. But they, once again, are people who you can tell they're just so happy to have found other people.
Well, that's exactly how we found you, wasn't it? You were just so happy to be able to talk NFL with other Australians.
It's like a weird, like I wouldn't say it's like a shame, but it feels like a secret. Because like I put together like a comedy fantasy league this year because I was like, surely a bunch of comedians like the NFL and they're the people that have, you know, as little on as me. So there can be some good chat in the day, in the group chat around the fantasy league. And let me tell you, it was fucking nothing. It was the driest group chat I've ever been a part of. Like there are wedding group chats from 2 years ago that have more action than this fucking thing. It's been a nightmare. But the league was fun. And that's how I found out you're a fan.
So can I ask about the Jets though?
Yeah.
You decided you had to pick a team, which is absolutely true. You're not properly invested until you have a team.
Yeah.
It changes your whole experience. Why the Jets?
Well,
did you literally flip a coin and be like,
no,
that's what I'm doing?
Imagine about a 32-sided coin. No, so the Jets were because I was in New York and I went to a game live and it was a Jets home game. And I was like, well, I guess this is it. And let me tell you, this was in like 2014, maybe 15. And they were horrible then. And they were playing the Jags, who were also horrible. And it was just a really average experience.
If it wasn't 50 years ago, then they haven't been good since. So.
Yeah. Hey, they had a run or two. Like, don't be mean now. Like, before the butt fumble and shit, they were doing all right. But, yeah, like, so I just was like, Jets, let's just do it. Because I got another mate, Jono, who's like a big NFL guy and he's a Jets guy. And I'm like, all right, we'll be in this together.
Are you in this together?
Yeah, I mean, he moved to Tasmania. I don't know if that was to get away from me or the Jets. Like, could have gone either way. But
at least you've got, if you ever meet Larry David, you've got the great opening to the conversation, which is he's a Jets fan, hates them deeply because he goes for them and they're always terrible.
Yeah,
and you've got a conversation starter.
Got an in with Larry David.
That's all you need.
A notoriously approachable man.
Yeah.
Larry, you like the Jets, right?
He lives to give.
Yeah,
he really does.
100%. But no, it's funny because I feel like the Jets thing. There is just if you mention it, people are like, I'm so sorry. So there's kind of like a death in the family or something. Like that's kind of the energy. But I thought Larry David actually quit as a Jets fan. I've heard that on another podcast I was listening to. He's like, he's just officially out. He just can't. He can't deal with it anymore. Which is,
Is that pre or post Aaron Rodgers?
I think pre.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, God, it just gets worse.
It gets worse and worse. So even with your love of the Jets, why the love of the NFL then?
Well, it's just
how do you stick with it?
Yeah. I think it's like it's the perfect sport for an Australian comedian to like because it's on Mondays during the day, which is typically like our kind of weekend. Like, and it's just ideal. Like, it's how I kind of start the week. I'm just sitting there and just like mainlining games on like Foxtel. I've still got fucking Foxtel. Just giving it a bash. And like, it's been a real joy.
Yeah, shout out to our new sponsor, Foxtel. Yeah, nice. So for someone who, like you said, you feel like you're a little bit alone, whether you're in England, whether you're over here, someone comes up and says to you, why the NFL? How are you explaining the NFL to that person?
Well, like, I think it's the only sport where like I can understand tactics and why they matter. Like every other sport, it's like, he's a great coach. Like AFL, it's like, he's a great coach. And I'm like, is he? Yeah. Like, they just seem to be following the ball around.
They seem to be doing most of the work on the ground. It's pretty random down there.
It's just like, hey, tell that guy to kick one. You're like, thanks. Oh, man, he's good. He's a good coach.
Hey, Steve, try harder.
Yeah. No, it's really, I do kind of like the chess piece of it. Like, and, I don't pretend to understand the X's and O's and shit like that. But I do definitely appreciate that. It's like, I think it's fun to describe the NFL as like a game of chess, but there's black and white pieces on the same team. That's fun.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
That's
deep,
an evolution.
Right?
That's
an
evolution.
Hell yeah.
Because I bore these guys with my chess metaphors.
Okay.
But that's good. That's
you
a new
collaborated then. This is working out.
Because that is, for some people, it's like, it is hard to get your head around the fact that there's like an offensive team and a defensive team. And the weird thing is the defense are attacking.
Yes.
Do you know what? Like they're attacking the other team's offense most of the time. And the offense is defensive against the defense as well. It's the black and whites was much easier to understand. That's much better.
Thanks so much.
We can cut that bit out.
So, who is your favourite player of all time?
I know it's a lame answer, but I think Tom Brady is actually my favorite player.
Ooh,
and
that's not lame. That's controversial as a Jets fan.
Well, look, it's I don't let the Jets interfere with my appreciation of Tom Brady. This is what I like about Tom Brady. Is like he's the best player of all time. Like he's the greatest player of all time. And the reason he is that is because he wanted it more than anyone else. He's a fucking psychopath who like for 15 years is eating avocado ice cream in order to just be able to stay on the field for like one season longer. And he like makes the playoffs and he's like not with a particularly great team and he's almost there and he gets done by the Rams in that way. And he's like, cool, I'm going to sacrifice my entire family to give it one more go. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, do you want a chance or a family? And he's like, a fucking chance. Obviously, I could win. I've done it 7 times before, which isn't enough for me. And the reason he's my favorite is because I just don't have that in me. Yeah. Like, it's just his mentality is so unapproachable and insane that, like, I'm not jealous of his achievements because I know I'm not like that.
And there's also with him just the start of his story in the NFL, the fact that he was drafted in the 6th round and like
199.
Isn't that like also ultimate underdogs, like literally the ultimate underdog story of barely got drafted.
It starts before that. Michigan, he was the 4th
Yeah,
Fourth
fourth
stringer.
stringer.
He's the
Yeah.
fourth stringer. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's all climbing, and just the fact that he hasn't forgotten it for a fucking second. Like, you know, you could talk to Tom Brady today, being like, "Well, who are the 5 quarterbacks drafted ahead of you?" And he's like, "Bang, bang, bang, bang!" Like, name,
Tell you
number,
the
name, number.
190.
I'll tell you where they live to this day. I made sure those cunts lost, and I won.
But it is that incredible thing. Like you have a look, at the point where he'd won 6 Super Bowls with the Patriots, still has a chip on his shoulder, and it's like
His
what
mate created
those
the chip,
people.
didn't he?
That's right. What those people do, like Jordan was the same. To make up fictional grudges and like with other people, like there's a long going feud, and the other person has no idea about it. I love that. He's just got something against everyone, and they have no
I mean,
idea.
I can't win without Bill. Watch me. I'll do it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then he did. Like, that's the thing. Like, when he goes over, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, whatever, dude." And then it's like that season, like beating Mahomes, like the next guy, and it's just kind of like, yeah, sucked in.
It was perfect. It was almost like it was scripted. Let's go a little bit more current. Who's your favorite player now?
I was thinking about this because I don't really like anybody in the NFL that much at the moment. I mean, I like fun stats, like I like fun things, like Tyreek Hill, more kids this year than receptions. That's sick.
Yeah.
That's so fun. I don't know if to say
More
allegedly if this is a
arrests
podcast, like, you know, but like I love shit like that. But I feel like they're just a bit media trained. I like Gronk because he just seemed like a moron, and like that was sick. Like, but I think I gotta go with my boy Jameis. I'm a huge Jameis Winston guy because I feel like just the experience of watching Jameis is such balance. Like, that's kind of a running joke between me and my friends. Like, his NFL karma, you know, like he will get you a touchdown, but he will throw an interception. Like,
One.
it's just, he will never leave the game unbalanced. Like, he is both yin and yang. And also his pre-game speeches are just absurd.
Pre, post, mid-game, he's the best with speeches.
Absolutely.
And now he's in New York.
Yeah, dude, he's a Giants.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like, imagine still signing him. You know, like what position are you in mentally? We're like, I think I need Jameis.
We need yin and yang. That's all.
I want to bet on red and black and roulette. Can we go? Can we go to the casino right now?
But he's like, I think there's a wisdom signing Jameis in that if you're not sure what game to watch, like your team's not playing and you're not, you'll always watch Jameis because it's going to be spectacular either way. You're going to have an absolute roller coaster. And New York Giants have not got much going on. I think we're going to put on Jameis. We'll just rate better in the afternoon. Like, we'll do well in other markets.
Yeah. Well, he's my fantasy guy. Like, whenever my fantasy season is taking a turn, I'm like, as soon as Jameis gets a start, I'm like, put him in. This is my dude. I will ride him to the bitter end. I love that
he
guy.
throws 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
There's also a chance he
Dude, winning a game off Jameis and just the pure frustration of whoever you're playing against, like, it's the best. They're just like, you don't deserve that. I'm like, yes, I fucking do. I just
This is
parachuted
calculated.
without a parachute and landed, you know?
And kept walking.
Yeah.
And then you put it obviously in the chat and got nothing.
Nothing, of course. Zero replies, nothing. I'm putting gold in there. I'm scanning Reddit. I'm getting all the best takes. Nothing.
Do you have a game that kind of stands out for you that you either one went, this is why I love the game, or it's just always been, you know, oh, I love this game?
Oh, I mean, it's a very...
Bud Fumble could be up there.
Bud Fumble could be up there. I mean, I think the game that I was just like, oh my God, was the Aaron Rodgers gets injured. And then, like, the guy who, like, just made the team from Hard Knocks, like, gets the return and the win. Like, you know, the big, great hope of the Jets gets injured on the 4th snap he played or something?
Yeah.
And then, like, the guy who, like, just made the team gets this huge home win against Bill.
Yeah, it was less popular in Buffalo. I will say.
Bills, maybe?
Yeah.
And then, like, oh, my God, maybe we'll still be okay. And then they weren't. You know, like, I love that. It's just, yeah, that's what's fun about football.
It was spectacular because the hype behind Rodgers, it just dominated media all summer. Like, the whole preseason was all about Rodgers, and he runs in. What was it? Was it anniversary of September 11th, swinging the flag?
Yeah.
Like, it had everything, and then that narrative stopped so quickly. It was perfect football experience. Every narrative you think there is going into a game, it can just disappear. And I've never seen anything like it.
Just like an Achilles.
Yeah. like a 40-year-old Achilles. That was a terrible night for me because I was actually in New York. It was like the first time at a Bills bar watching it, and this huge sense of anticipation, and we had a great, and then it just really went south. It was a really bleak experience. It was unbelievable. Yeah.
Well, I promise it was a similarly bleak experience from a Jets perspective. You're just like, oh, we got Zach Wilson back. That's good. I've always had a lot of faith in that guy.
Where is he now?
Do you have a favourite play of all time? Like, if you think about great plays, is there anything that comes to mind? Like, even something that you could show someone who's not into NFL and go, look at this.
The fourth.
You can see why it happens. Yeah, the fourth snap of the Achilles.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I think if I was trying to introduce someone to the NFL, it would probably be the Malcolm Butler touchline interception.
Yeah.
Just because that is so crazy. I remember watching that when I wasn't really a fan, just when I was kind of unemployed and it was on. It's just Channel 7 on a Monday. Sure, we'll give this a go. I remember just watching that and just being so confused, even as someone who didn't understand the game very well at all. And just being that seems like the worst possible thing that could ever happen on a sporting field. And it was one guy's decision. And it destroyed the entire franchise, right? That was when Seattle were just yeah, and just that's it. And then just to see it parodied, I love that Marshall and Lynch commercial with the beer, just run it over. Let me just run it over to him. No, I'm going to throw it. It's just yeah. I think just the fact that it's so parodiable forever, you watch that and you're wow, the biggest possible stage, one of the best coaches, and he just made the complete wrong decision. The guy made the play that they were training for, he wasn't even really a starter at that stage. That's I think you'd be hard pressed to find something that could turn like that in another sport, in AFL or whatever. It's very rarely something like that. Just one single moment changes, 5 years of NFL history after that.
And Russell Wilson's life.
Is it possible to like Russell Wilson? Is it?
Russ seems to be okay with it.
He's got to check that with his social media team first.
Yeah.
Let's not suggest that Russell Wilson's ever made his own decision.
It's
what's he got? He's got the 3 or the 6 or something like that. Is it?
The 3 brand or whatever.
Yeah. It's not RG3. He's obviously known, but it's not one decision. It's a group.
I feel like American athletes, the branding decisions are just such a completely different realm to Australian athletes. I can't imagine an Australian athlete choosing a jersey number in order to start a lifestyle brand 7 years down the line. Whereas Paul George in the NBA changed his number so he could be PG-13.
Yeah, wow.
That was just the team's so we're gonna have to change the number because he's gonna sell some stuff to some kids off the back of this dude. It's gonna be some action figures that have a shit name.
Do you know what I love about the rules around changing numbers? A player signs, comes to a team, they can change their number, but they have to buy all existing stock of the other player's number,
as well as pay the player.
That's right. So that's it. So if someone came into let's say someone came to the Bills and wanted number 3, and that's DeMar Hamlin's number.
Yeah,
they have to buy every item of merch with DeMar Hamlin number 3. They have to buy it off the shelf, and then they can have the number.
Right.
So I also
sell as vintage.
I really like the idea
what
of
do
these
they do
players
with it?
who just have a warehouse full of some other guy's jersey and nothing to do with it.
Yeah, because the guy gave up the number in Tampa, right, for Brady. I thought.
Yeah.
I don't think Brady's really that worried about spending a lot of money on other
he's
people's
right.
jerseys, so I think he might have been fine.
Can you imagine how annoyed
He's
it'd
got a
be?
few warehouses.
Yeah, it'd just be so annoyed to have. What do you do with it? Do you just charity shop it? It's just vintage shops all around America.
100%. There's vintage shops somewhere.
It's amazing though. Could you imagine how humiliating it is? If you bought them all and then you're well, if I'm going to sell them, they're going to be worth more if they're signed. So you actually take a truck of jerseys over to this player who you've just shunted and go, do you sign 10,000 jerseys for me?
And by the way, do you want them?
Yeah.
Do you want them back?
Yeah, so just for the memories,
Now, if you could take any player and put him on the Jets, is it going to be James Winston or is it going to be someone else?
I'd like someone who could help the Jets situation. I know it's a player, so it's not fair, but I would love to take an owner.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Let's spin this.
Look, you know what I mean? Because I feel felt the Jets ownership, it just, not that I can speculate or whatever, but they just seemed like they're just really, really bad at it. Like just the mid-season firing of Salah, like, and then it's just like getting Aaron Rodgers guys in, like again, it's like how many times does the lizard need a fucking run? You know,
Yeah.
just please stop. Like,
And wasn't there talk like that? It was like, oh, we might be shifting to the other brother because this one might have to go and be in Trump's cabinet. So
Yes.
we're not entirely sure who's going to be making the decisions at the Jets.
yeah.
So what owner would you bring in? Because off the top of my head, I can't think of any.
Go to the Packers. Go to the Packers. We own everything.
Well, like, what was I going to... Oh, because Howie from the Eagles is GM, right?
GM,
He's
yeah.
not owner. But it feels like in the Jets, the ownership just kind of overrules the GM over and over again. But I feel like the Eagles are probably like the smartest. Like in terms of a team that I think has played it very shrewd, like I feel like they've done quite well. Just like, you know, taking defense through the draft and like paying for offense and just kind of building. And obviously it's gone quite well, even though it was a boring Super Bowl for the fucking rest of us. Watching that at Perth at 6 a.m. being like, this was not worth it, but it's an unlimited bar tab, so let's go. Like, you know when you're just drunk enough that you try like hard rated, like solo? Like you're just like, I've had all the beer. Now I need a fizzy drink. Oh, do you? You work your way in. Good man.
So, but is there a player?
The man's mimosa.
Is there a player in the league that you look at them and just go, I just wish we had that guy?
Absolutely. And it's just to be a
Which
dick.
position do you want to go with?
It's just to be a dick. It's Drake May from the Patriots.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to take Drake May from the Patriots because all the Patriots fans are like, oh no, this is a disaster since Belichick left. At least we nailed it on the quarterback position. Now we got Vrabel in, very shrewd coach, very smart coach. And it's like, nah, fuck off. We're taking Drake May. You know what I mean?
So you love the Patriots, but you just want to fuck them.
Dude, I don't love the Patriots at all. I respect Brady. I like the idea of taking Drake May away from them just so like they've just got uncertainty because it feels like that 2 years of quarterback uncertainty in like 25 years of football. And that's not long enough.
Well enough.
You should have to suffer for longer. You should have to be like, maybe this guy's good. I don't know. Like they got to start talking themselves into Shador Sanders, you know? Like give it a go. Oh, is that dicey?
No, I like it. That's good.
It's real hotbed stuff.
Now, it doesn't help with the camera. I'm sitting on a few books, so I'm at least your size.
Sure.
So I want to know when you go and put your name in the draft, what are they going to? What position are they calling out for you? Where are you going to play?
Look, I think any of the big boy positions, any of the lines, no, absolutely not.
You're not at one time.
I don't think so. Probably it's an arm length issue. I think I've got the weight. But look, I think for some reason I think tight end is actually like the coolest position to play in football. But I just don't think that I could really match it with the boys, even though they don't have to block anymore. What happened to that? Anyway, I think probably like a corner. Or a safety or something like that. Something defensive. I feel like if I was running, I would just get absolutely punished. I would like the ability to maybe punish someone else if they're not looking or they fell over already.
Yep.
You know, just an opening.
If they fell over already.
Yeah, look,
Mine.
mate. If you just see those guys move, like just that video of what is it? Is it Tristan Wirfs like jumping out of a pool and landing on his feet?
Yeah.
Have you seen that video?
Yeah.
No,
that was pre-draft.
It is like you just watch that and you're like, these are not human. Like these aren't.
For context, he's 120 kilos.
More.
That is
He'd be like
wild.
140, 150.
Yeah,
He's
jumping
like
out of a pool,
300 pound fella jumping like out of a pool, like a waist type pool, landing on his feet, not falling back in, and then just walking out of the pool. And you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
So yeah, like I want to be nowhere near that guy. I want to be way behind that guy. I want to be like, I just missed the guy. My bad.
What is a rule that you don't understand? Like, despite years of watching, are there times that there is a call or a rule and you go, well, maybe it was. I don't know.
Look, I mean, you could obviously just go the hotbed answer, which is like kind of roughing the passer, like what is it, what isn't it, what are we doing? But I think it's got to be. I find the ineligible man downfield quite frustrating because I think I speak for everybody when I love a big man touchdown. Can't get enough of a big man touchdown. Detroit runs a bunch of those, which I love, and I've just seen them get pulled back for like ineligible man, and I'm like, I don't understand what went wrong. Because like you just got to nominate, right? To be like, I'm a receiver on this play, and the umpire's like, sick one, and then you can get it and go. But there's other ones where it's like it's not even the guy who catches it, like the other guy is like the offensive lineman's gone too far.
Yeah, more than a yard down.
More than a yard
He
down.
did nothing. He did nothing.
Yeah, and I'm just like that one. I find a bit baffling. I'm like, if they're running the play for you and you're a big man, like this is the only time that's happening this game, and you're like forgetting to report in.
He didn't touch his shirt properly.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? I find that very strange. I'm just like, surely you'd be psyched. You'd be telling everybody. Like, not just the umpire. You'd be like,
This is me.
brother.
This one's me.
Yeah, big boy.
Look out, all of you. I'm coming.
Yeah. Dude, I love that footage, that Cam Newton thing, where it's just like the defense is like calling out the play, and he's like, "Oh, you guys been watching tape, right? Watch this." Love that shit.
That's a Packers there. I don't like it as much as you.
Speaking of watching stuff, what's your favorite football movie?
See, I was thinking through this because I remember in high school we got hammered with Remember the Titans. I don't know if you guys had that experience in high school. I don't know why my high school thought we needed to fix race relations. It was a private school in Sydney. There weren't a lot of races involved. But yeah, guys, we just got to get on with ourselves. No, so Remember the Titans, it is good. It is kind of fun, but it's a bit cheesy. I really do like Any Given Sunday, which I know is obviously, a bit of a favorite around here. That's good fun. But like, does Ace Ventura: Pet Detective count as a football movie?
That is borderline. That's
because
Can you explain?
or is it more a pet detective movie? I'm not sure. Like,
look, I feel like as an Australian person, especially in the past, I feel like it's changed now. But like the way you got introduced, like American football, is like quite weird because like it'd be kind of like a joke in The Simpsons. Like I remember like Hank Scorpio bought Homer Simpson a team.
Yeah,
He wanted to own the Cowboys, but he bought the Broncos. And I remember like South Park kind of had a reference to Eric Cartman's dad being John Elway, and like these are the kind of receptors of like, what is this thing? You know, because people would say gridiron, you're like, I don't know what that is. But then like Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, like it actually kind of had a bit of a narrative. And to this day, whenever I see a kick, I think Laces Out. Like I just have that in my head forever. It's just yeah. So I feel like in a way, like that's kind of started it. But in terms of like a football movie, I think I'm being a bit false on purpose.
Hey,
the football scene, really.
Yeah.
this is your interview, man. You can love whatever you like.
Just everyone at home being like, he's not taking the question seriously enough. I can't believe this comedian isn't being sincere.
Well, I think the next question is a bit more controversial though. Where do you stand on the movie Draft Day? Do you think it's the greatest movie of all time, or a football illiterate mess that is also the greatest movie of all time?
I want to be very clear. I haven't seen it.
What?
And when I was made aware, I looked at the cover when I was made aware of this movie existing, and I was like, nah, this looks awful. And was it?
No.
It is. It's like it's ludicrous from a. It's no way to draft. I'll say that. It's no way to be general manager of the Browns.
Yes.
Kevin Costner leaves a lot to be desired as GM. But as a rollicking ride, it is a really fun movie. And I've watched it maybe 20
every
times.
pre-draft.
Yeah.
Every pre-draft.
Draft day
It's
is every
due.
year.
You're due now.
Okay. Well, look, it's a good time of year.
I'll tell you
seasonal.
what we should do. You should watch Draft Day before the draft comes up. So you've got a couple of weeks. And then let's record another pod
let's do this
afterwards
all
and
again.
get your film review of. We'll get your film review of Draft Day.
We could just have a little film session.
Little film
film study.
Yeah.
Get in there early. Okay. No, I'll do it. I'll watch it. I'll report back to the lads.
You won't regret
It can't. I'm sorry. There's certain things you see on a DVD cover and you're like, this is going to be bad. Like, this is going to be a bad film. Like, I'll be corrected, but I don't believe you. I want to be clear.
You will be corrected because I think it's gross. I love it. So, being an Australian, being in London, doesn't matter where, but what's the hardest part of being an NFL fan when you are down here or in London? That works too if you want to do that.
I think, all right, so it's kind of like twofold. It's like obviously just finding people to like talk about it with. Like I feel like that's why, an Australian football podcast is like such a great thing because like you watch the thing, you just want to talk, like you want some feedback on it kind of immediately, and there's just nobody around. So you can try the comedians fantasy group chat, and there'll be fucking nothing in there. Let me tell you that. But no, and like you kind of go on and like I'm like a big like ringer guy, like I listen to that kind of stuff, and like but yeah, just being able to like decompress with the game because like when it's like an AFL game, like you got your mates who support your team and you got that little group chat and you can immediately kind of decompress, like figure out what happened and like move forward. But like yeah, there's that with the NFL. There's just nowhere to kind of like take the thoughts that you have, which you hold quite strongly. And it's just you on a couch and your wife works from home and you got like an 8-month-old kid and she's like, keep it down. And I'm like, you don't understand. This call made no fucking sense. Like, why wouldn't he report in? Anyway, so it's like that kind of thing. And then also just like how much of your Monday is gone. Because like, you know, you're like, I'm going to watch some sport. It's going to be fun, whatever. And there's just so many games. And you're just like, I haven't done anything. It's 3 p.m. I'm just sitting.
Are you
there.
up at 3 a.m.?
That actually, you know what? That could be the hardest part about it because if you're playing NFL fantasy and someone is questionable and it's an early game,
You got to know.
you're just like, am I setting an alarm for fucking 2:45 a.m. to just check my phone 5 minutes, be like, he's out, oh shit, and like sub him out, put a new guy in. Because you make conservative choices based on injury reports, and you can't change it up to the minute, which is why I insist on playing fantasy with Australian people because they're in the same boat.
Yeah.
And like, hey, if you want to wake up at 2:45 to change your roster, that's some Tom Brady shit. That's on you, brother. I don't want to live that life.
He's committed.
I don't want to live that life.
Now, to improve all your group chats that obviously you're not getting enough interest in, how would you convince someone to become an NFL fan?
I really think it's the ability to have a sport that you watch during the day. I think that is unprecedented. I think for everybody in industries like ours, where it's just like you don't work regular hours, like 9 to 5, it's like, guys, we can have every Monday to ourselves, like 10 a.m. to like 4 p.m. Like you can go earlier if you want. Like you just get a very singular sports watching experience, usually when there is no sport to watch, which is obviously the saddest point of any day. You can just have that. And like that's what it says. Like come down to the pub with me, 9 a.m. on Monday. We'll have a beer. It'll feel weird.
But we'll all love
But
it.
you will love
But
it.
it'll be awesome.
By the third beer, you'll be like, this is pretty fucking good. Yeah.
I reckon you can take it further. You can do Fridays, you can do Mondays, and you can do Tuesdays because there's so much football.
Yeah. That is good. It is nice. And just like, I know it's like a weird thing, but it's like the weird sincerity around NFL coverage I find quite fun. Like, you know, like any theme song feels like it's some kind of semi-national anthem, you know? And it's just like, that's quite enjoyable given the Australian approach, being like, oh, yeah, we gave it a go, mate. You know?
There's not much sincerity in the NFL, so I'm
Yeah.
as long as the theme song says sincere. Mate, you've been so good with your time. I can't thank you enough, especially with, you know, Tim McDonald stuffing up the cameras. And stuff.
That guy's got to go. He has got to go.
Last thing from me, how do you think the Jets are going to go this year?
Well, we kind of touched on this. We've signed Fields as our quarterback, and that's not optimistic. You know, that's like I feel like signing Fields is like genuinely. It's just like we really don't know what to do. Like it's kind of like going back to uni. You know, it's just like I had a career. I don't know if AI is going to take it. So what I've done is I've enrolled in an accounting degree, and it's like it's employable. It's fine. Like I feel like there's talent there, but I feel like the coaching stuff was a real issue last year. I feel like the Rodgers stuff like wasn't actually the issue. Like I don't think Rodgers was actually that bad. Like I mean, as a person, hideously unlikable. No time for him at all. But as a player, I think there's something there. But like, yeah, just Fields. I'm just kind of like anyone who loses their job to Russell Wilson in 2025. Like that's tough, man. Like that's a low bar.
Does it make you feel any better that his stats were actually mildly better than Russell's for the rest of the season?
No, not even a little bit. I just think Fields, like he failed in Chicago, he failed in Pittsburgh, and then the Jets are like, oh, but
That's our guy.
we'll plug him in.
He was very good at Ohio State, though, wasn't he? He did all right at Ohio State.
Just, you know what I mean? The idea of the Jets being like, no, we'll turn him around. Like, you know, just perennial quarterback ruiners.
I was
Like
going to say, they are not the franchise that's like, we coach well and we get the best out of
yeah,
our
like,
recruiters.
even when they had like Gase, like the quarterback whisperer, it's just like, this couldn't have been worse.
Yeah.
Like the only thing Zach Wilson could hit was like someone's mom. Like, you know, he was the MILF hunter, but on the field, he couldn't stick a fucking thing. It's brutal, man. Like, yeah, I just don't, that move really shocked me. Like I was like, they go to the draft, they might get Shador or whatever, because he'll drop down that low at least. Like, that's a shot. That's something. Like, he's kind of used to limelight. Jets got a lot of limelight, maybe. But like, I mean, the talent's there. Like, the defense is good, and the receivers are good, and the fucking running back's good. Just something wrong. I didn't realize what I was getting into. I want to be very clear. When I became a Jets fan, I didn't realize how deep this shit went. Because I was talking to John about it. Just be like, man, can you believe this? And he's like, yes. Like, this is every season, always, forever. And I'm like, oh.
They say past performance is an indicator of future, but I think this is.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. Maybe I would love to be surprised, but Justin Fields, you can't throw. And that's a problem.
You got so much faith in the ownership as well that they're going to draft really well.
Yeah.
It'll save you.
Sure, it's going to be good. Sure, it's
New
going to
GM
fix
this
everything.
year, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Or did
They got rid of everyone. So
Yeah.
surely it's a new GM.
Yeah, so it must work.
Yeah.
Every time they fired someone else, it's worked so well for them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mid-season firings also.
That was so
Working well.
insane. But I still like my favorite take. It's like a Bill Simmons take on Mo Salah. It's just like, he's not a good coach. Why? He's got 13 kids. Is it 13 or 7? He's got so many kids.
You're coming up with the stats, man.
And
Yeah.
it's so many kids. And it's just like, you can't have that many kids and be good at
Yeah,
something.
be good at
Like, I have
Just
one.
some wisdom to that.
I have one child. Let me tell you, my comedy festival show this year, not great. I can only imagine how much worse it'd be if I had 6 more.
Yeah, I have 2, and you saw how late I was coming in today. So,
Yeah.
again, mate, can't thank you enough for giving up your time. Coming all the way to Melbourne for the interview as well.
Just for this, yeah.
It's huge. Where can we find you? Where can people, if they're still listening?
If they're still listening, if I haven't alienated every Jets fan with a complete lack of hope.
Oh, hit him
But
up.
I
Hit
think
him up
they'll-
on Twitter.
I think they'll be like, this is actually my guy. Like, this is the exact energy we all bring to this. Daniel Muggleton. You can follow me Instagram, Twitter, whatever, at Dan Muggleton. And if you like podcasts, I got a podcast called Flog Cabin, which occasionally talks about football, but very, very occasionally.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
Good man.
Pleasure.
I'll stop.
Thank you for your patience, everyone.
You gonna?
I've got to
you.
run.
Yeah.
I'll leave this here. Can you